Okay, guys. Okay, guys. Today doing another live today, guys. So, I'm doing Q&A today. So, a lot of you guys don't know, I am a real estate agent. So, I will be having today my broker on today, and you guys can literally ask any questions you would like about anything pertaining to New Jersey real estate. So if you have anybody that's looking to buy, sell, if you're having any questions about inquiring, what does the process look like? Um, what are things to know about if you have a good realtor or not? Any kind of questions, Q&A. It's like a Q&A session. So feel free to ask any questions. My broker is literally running to the car. He'll be right back to grab his phone. I think it'd be an actually great live today, so you can ask any questions you like. So let's talk about it. So when you have your New Jersey real estate license, you can literally sell anything. I'm talking about skyscrapers, plots of land, forest patches, anything that has to do with kind of real estate at all in Jersey, you can sell it if you have a license. Yo, Hydro, bro, we're doing a professional live today, bro. So I'm actually in my real estate office today. So it's gonna be any kind of Q&A questions you have about anything pertaining to real estate. So if you have any questions today about anything pertaining to New Jersey real estate or real estate in general, we can talk about it today. I'm gonna have my broker on. My broker, Jay.
Alright, I'll be in a minute. I might have to hop on a 10-minute call too,
Okay, that's fine.
but I'll know in a few minutes.
See, my broker, he's a very busy man. He's a very, very busy man. Let's see. So, do you guys have any questions in chat? Man, let's see. Wow, no high. Yo, what's good, Slim? What is real estate? So real estate is basically land that has a house on it or land that is just there that people own. So think of it like this. If your grandparents own a house and your house is sitting with just land on it, basically. That's literally what real estate is. Real estate is literally land that somebody owns. So I can give you the actual definition. If you want the legal one, I can give you the legal definition. Hold on. Give me 1 second, because I like to read stuff and actually give you the exact definition of real estate. So today, guys, is a Q&A. You can ask me any questions about New Jersey real estate. If you want to know about market trends, anything that's going on. Give me 1 second, because I want to answer his question. Okay. Okay. So it says real estate refers to property consisting of land and any structure or improvements permanent attached to it, such as buildings, homes, or other developments. It can encompass not only physical property, but its rights and interests associated with the owner or using of the land and structure. So real estate is categorized into four main parts. So it's going to be categorized in residential real estate. You have commercial real estate, and then you also have industrial real estate, and then land real estate. So land real estate is basically undeveloped land, agricultural lands, or vacant lots. So sometimes you might be driving around your neighborhood and you might just see a couple houses, and then in between a house is just a lot that's just like green with grass, and it's just cut. So sometimes like that, that's just a vacant lot there. And then like industrial is basically like manufacturing, any kind of like warehouses and stuff like that. So I'm lying, actually. Industrial is literally used for manufacturing products, distribution, storage, such as factories and industrial parks. That's something that is like I know in Newark, New Jersey, they have a oil refinery up there, so that's right by the airport. So that would be considered industrial real estate. That's as an example. Commercial real estates are properties used in business activities such as an office. Your doctor's office is considered commercial. When you go to the mall, that's considered commercial. Any kind of like warehouse. So like if you go to like a warehouse like Former Mills is considered like a commercial. And then your residential, which will be living, that which includes apartments, houses, condominiums, which are technically like apartments, but it's a little bit more fancy. So stuff like that. Do you have any more questions for me, guys? I see 5 of y'all in chat. No? No more questions, guys? Listen, this is a Q&A, so you can ask me anything pertaining to real estate. Nightbot's hilarious. No? Come on, Slim. I know you have a question, Slim. Throw one at me. I know you got some more questions, guys. Come on. Don't make me sit here and look crazy. Come on, I can answer anything you need to know when it comes to real estate. I know you guys have some questions. We are okay, Rondel. I'm not talking to you, Slim. I know you, Slim, personally, so like, it's okay. I don't know what else to talk to you guys about other than real estate today. So, should I tell you a fascinating story on how I got my license? It was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Do you understand? Taking a New Jersey real estate exam is one of the hardest tests you can take in the country. Okay? They say if you can pass the New Jersey real estate exam, you are cream of the crop because basically 50% of the US population fails the New Jersey real estate exam. That's pretty wild. That is pretty wild. So you are not cut from the same cloth. I just want to say that for the record. Q&A. We're doing a Q&A. Oh. I have huge land in the countryside. How can I turn it into real estate? Well, technically, if you own land in the countryside, you already have real estate. What is the difference from owning properties and being a real estate agent? That is a good question, Mike. So, Rosie, I'm gonna answer your question first, okay? If you already own land in in the countryside, you basically already have real estate. So what you have is undeveloped land, which can consist of agricultural or just a plot of land that you have not developed anything on it. So what I would advise you to do is, depending on your town, you would have to go speak to your town's board of zoning and stuff to make sure your land is zoned for residential, commercial, or industrial. And sometimes, depending on where you live, you can have a hybrid between commercial and residential. So that means you can put residential stuff on your land and then also put some kind of commercial on there. And what is the difference between owning property and being a real estate agent? So when you are a real estate agent, you have the license to sell and write up contracts for any type of real estate in your state, depending on what state you live in. So that can consist of, like I was saying again, you can sell commercial, residential, industrial, and land. So you can literally sell like 20 acres of undeveloped land, a patch of forest, let's just say that. And somebody owns a patch of forest and they want to sell it. You as a real estate agent are legally licensed to negotiate on behalf of your client who you're representing, and you're basically the one that facilitates the deal. When you are a property owner, you are a landowner. You can sell your land without having a real estate agent, but when you're dealing with a real estate agent, Your real estate agent will basically be the one that will take care of negotiating. When you get calls about your property, they're the ones that take on offers, written offers, they present stuff, and they have a fiduciary duty to you to make sure that you get the best deal, and they will advise you what to do. So think of it like, like a lawyer basically, but somebody who's there just gonna advocate for you and take care and facilitate the deal, making sure the deal gets done. So that's a clear difference. When you have when you have a real estate license, you can represent yourself on your own transactions on real estate, but also it's just literally you're legally allowed to sell any kind of real estate, and you get a commission, and then you get paid on that commission with your broker, and then you pay tax. So you're legally sanctioned to sell stuff, any kind of real estate. And you are welcome, Rosie. My broker will be joining us soon. So if you guys have any questions regarding like real estate, or like you want to know something about like what do contracts look like, what is a CMA, what is a marketable comparative analysis, like stuff like that, my broker will definitely go into more detail and talk about it. So if you have any questions pertaining to real estate, I can get you the answer today. So I'll wait for another question. And Rosie, thank you for that question. That was a really great question, and I really appreciate it. Okay, so let me pop up with some more topics I want to talk to you guys about. Give me 1 second, guys. Sorry. Q&A for real estate. So, people ask questions, like one of the most frequently asked questions, right? Is what is real estate, and why is it a valuable investment? So, do you live in Jersey? Yes, bro, I am a Jersey boy. Yes, I live in New Jersey. So, a lot of people ask a basic question is like, um, what is real estate and why is it valuable is it a valuable investment? For some people, yes, it is a valuable investment. A lot of people like to diversify their stuff. One of the safer investments you could do is real estate, because you buy a home, you pay on it. Once you pay on it, it's yours. You only have to pay property tax, and the property tax goes up so often depending on municipality you live in. And what I understand is homes have long-term value, so they go up in value. So what a lot of people do is they say a lot of wealth building starts with buying a home first, and you can use that as a financial arm. So like what a lot of people do that own a house that is paid off, they'll use their house that they bought and basically take a loan against it to buy other investment properties, and that's how a lot of people become landlords. So that's a vehicle that people do to build wealth, and it keeps you. It's a pretty good asset to have, low key. I know like a lot of people invest in the stock market. I'm not too stock market savvy, but I play with you from South Africa. Okay. Right now what I'm doing is I'm doing a Q&A with real estate right now. So if you have any questions about real estate when it comes to the United States, I got you, especially when it comes to Jersey. Now, I cannot speak for every single state because every single state regulates themselves and they're subjugated to their own laws, which is kind of wild. So another questions is they ask is why should I use a real estate agent? If you're ever a first-time home buyer or just a buyer in general or a seller in general, you kind of want somebody who knows what they're doing and not their first rodeo, because those are the kind of people that can help you navigate through knowing what a good deal is. And 9 times out of 10, real estate agents are on commission only. So 9 times out of 10, they work their butt off to make sure that you get the best deal for you and you close on a house or you're selling your house. So they're incentivized to do a good job. And a lot of real estate agent people are really good people. So I haven't had any complaints in my firm about being a bad realtor or bad agents in general. So I do work for the top 5 producer in Jersey. So I'm with the Garrett team, but they're also affiliated with NJ Realty Pros. So that's another one. I got another question. Real estate investment. They said, what are the benefits of investing in real estate? So one of the benefits of investing in real estate is if you want passive residual income, a lot of people buy houses to rent to people so they can have a nice financial safety net. So I know a couple people personally who buy investment properties just to rent out to people so they can have sustainable side income because they don't plan to work the rest of their life and they want to retire at a certain age and they want to have a nice little safety net. So that's the reason why a lot of people invest in it. And also too, when you're going to do any kind of business venture, if you own real estate assets, the banks look at that and they will be more inclined to lend you money. So that's another reason. And another question we get in Jersey a lot is what is the current trends in New Jersey real estate? So, New Jersey real estate personally is going through every year they go up in value, so it is a very good time to buy. Because I've seen clients and people who bought a house like 2 years ago, their house already has just in equity alone in the past 2 years over 100K in equity that they're able to upsize or even downsize depending on their needs. So I have no clients that personally have started a family and they needed more space than what they originally bought, and they're already able to take their house and get out of the current mortgage they're in because they have so much equity that the bank is willing to give them more money to get into something a little bit bigger. And I've seen people sell their homes and get way more than what they paid for. So I know a guy who purchased his house back in 2015. His house was worth $250,000, and his house is not even paid off yet. He's still got a little bit left on his mortgage, but his house is now worth $640,000. So he was able to, like, I want to say 3x his profits on that one. So you can see the gains on that. That's pretty cool. I'm low key waiting for my broker to come on because you guys can ask him really great questions and a lot of stuff. Hey, hey.
I could do hat if that works. I'm not it's from waist up.
No,
right?
no, you're good. Yeah, come on, just come on in. Somebody just asked me questions like, so I'll read one to you. So they asked me, I have huge land in the countryside. How can I turn it into real estate? So I had informed the person that they already have real estate. It's already there. They just have undeveloped land or just regular land real estate.
Yeah, I mean something like that. You could always subdivide it into multiple pieces of land and then put up multiple problem properties. You really have to look at the zoning for the town, and you got to see what the minimum requirements are to subdivide the lots. So that's one thing you could do with a big piece of land.
Oh, this is my broker Jay, guys. So this is my broker Jay. He works for NJ Realty Pros, and I'm part of his team. He's Jay Garrett. So another question somebody asked was a good one too. They said, "What is the difference between a property owner and being a real estate agent?"
Oh, I mean, between owning properties, yeah. So the difference between a real estate agent, you don't own the property; you're just representing the owner for the sale of the property. Owning properties, you actually have ownership, the deeds in your name, and it's your property.
Yeah. So let's see. See what he said. What rules are in place? Like every rule. Ronaldo, can you refine that question for me? Because I don't understand. Like, are you talking about like what rules does it apply to like real estate? There's certain stuff that we're bound by like ethics codes and certain other things, but my boss could explain that a little bit better than I can.
Well, I think he just wants to know every rule. Are you talking about for for selling homes? Or are you talking about rules for subdividing, like I was talking about before? I mean, there's so many different areas that there could be rules. So I mean, I'm not. If you want to expand on that, I could probably
You said yes about that.
about about well, as for selling homes, when you get your real estate license, you go through the whole all what's legal, what you can do. You take if you are a member of the realtor association, then you're you basically promise there's like a code of ethics that you adhere to. It's all in writing. You can look it up. I mean, you just can Google any of that stuff.
Yeah, so what real estate agents, what they do is whenever they're representing a buyer or seller, we have we're what's called by ethics is a fiduciary duty. So we have to protect the interests of our client that we're representing at all times. So we are not able to share like certain information, but we're also supposed to negotiate on their behalf and do certain things in their interest. So basically, we got to make sure that they have the best outcomes at all times and the best possible success rate. So that's like where we're bound by ethics. Another question I have for you.
Yeah.
So can you tell us an interesting story that you had in your 20 years of licensing in real estate?
An interesting story, like what?
Like with a buyer or a seller?
I'm trying to think. I'm gonna think on that while we answer questions. But I do. I mean, you really see everything when you're a real estate agent. I know one agent that showed a house to an investor, and there was a body in the crawl space. So that's
Stop.
pretty crazy.
That's pretty wild.
So yeah, really anything can happen. Do you need a license to buy?
Don't listen to him. Just ignore his trolling right now.
Okay.
Okay. So you said that you have done a house showing before, and there was a body in the crawl space.
Not me personally, my friend.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Yeah, I mean, I've had houses that have had people squatting in the house. Houses that I represented for the bank and stuff like that. So you always got to be safe. Because sometimes there's people in the houses that aren't supposed to be there. Yeah, I mean, basically, anything. I've shown really beautiful, expensive luxury homes, crazy hoarder houses, and everything in between.
So I got some basic real estate questions I want to ask you, and we'll shoot through them. Okay? It'll be rapid fire. Okay? It says what is real estate and why is it a valuable investment?
I mean, real estate is an asset. It's property. It's a valuable investment because it's finite. So there's only so much real estate. You can't just create land, right? So it's almost like that's why gold is valuable and other commodities, because there's only so much of it and there's a demand for it. So over time, especially as population and stuff increases, the value goes up because the demand goes up.
Okay, I got another question for you. It says, what are the different types of real estate properties?
That's pretty open, but I mean, there's a lot. I mean, the main difference is there's commercial real estate and residential real estate.
Okay.
So obviously, residential real estate is properties that you're going to live at or rent out to people that are going to live in them. Commercial real estate is real buildings for business, offices, warehouses, stuff like that. But there's different niches within real estate, specifically residential. That's what we do. There's multifamily homes. That's one kind. Condos, townhouses, single family homes. So they each have their pros and cons, and depending as an investor, you may want to consider different ones for different reasons.
Okay. So this one is another good one. I think this would be a good one for you to answer too. It says, how does real estate markets affect the economy?
Actually, real estate markets really affect the economy like very, very strongly. There's so much involved with real estate. I mean, when you think about it, like from builders building a home to everything that's involved. They say the average real estate transaction has like 26 immediate referral opportunities, right? Between plumbers, electricians, all that stuff. So when somebody buys a house, they want to fix it up. It's good for the economy because, they're going to be, spending money to fix the property, and there's people in all those different
Niches in there.
niches and vendors that they have to deal with.
Okay.
So, the real estate obviously, a lot of people say it drives the direction of the economy in some ways.
Okay, so you're basically saying the reason why it affects the economy so much because any kind of real estate transaction requires you to have a plumber, an inspector, code enforcement. So it's a whole lot of stuff that's tied into this real estate stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got another. It's a couple more series of questions. So this ones are for buyers and sellers and properties. So one of the questions they asked, what should first time home buyers know when purchasing property?
Ooh, that's a good one. So there's a lot. I mean, normally I sit down and I do a full 1 hour consultation, which I'm sure if anybody wanted to, you could do that with them as well too, Rondel. So like, I mean, I could give a few tips, but you really want to know the whole process, so you're not going into it blindly. That's one big thing. Uh, Two, I would say, because a lot of people, they say, "Oh, I'm waiting because of the rates," or stuff like that. And especially for your primary residence, knowing the cost of waiting. Because I know some people that I talked to 2, 3 years ago. They say, "Oh, I'm waiting because of the rates," and they're still waiting. Meanwhile, the houses have gone up $150,000. So even if the rates were to go down, they wouldn't even be able to afford what they could have afforded 2 years ago. So I think it's really important to understand the cost of waiting. When it's your primary residence, almost always, depending on your situation, it makes sense to have that in line. Because if you look at any sort of graph, the real estate values versus time, they go up over time. Almost 100% of the time. You've had a few dips over the years, but very little, and it rebounds quickly, kind of because it goes back to those principles of supply and demand. And like we were saying before, real estate's a limited asset.
And especially in New Jersey, it is considered a very, very hot commodity because of the way Jersey is built and the small amount of like sizes for homes and stuff and like plots of land are like very scarce around Jersey. So you have a higher opportunity for more return on investment on your home purchase. So another factor, they said, what are factors influencing property value?
Factors influencing property value is going to be or affecting it. First and foremost, condition. You can have two homes that are exactly the same size, same lot, and the condition can value over 6 figures. I've seen the same exact model and the same development sell for that difference just because of how nicely it was updated, the fixes it had. That's one thing. Obviously, the size of the property, square footage, the size of the land, the location, like convenience for commuting, convenience for shopping, and things like that. All that stuff plays a factor into the value.
Okay. So then another one, they said, how do you determine the right price to sell your home as a real estate agent? How do you determine that for your clients?
Okay, so yeah, so one is don't go by Zillow's estimate. Funny story, we just had a house that we sold, and had the person not contacted us and had us do, which I'm going to explain how we do it in a minute, but like had they not asked us to do this and they just went by the Zillow value, prior to us listing the property, the value was worth. It was the value of the property, according to Zillow, was 900,000. We listed it at 1.3 million, and we got them over asking price. So they would have left over $300,000 on the table had they gone by the Zillow value. And the reason why it's important and what we do that's different than Zillow, Zillow is just an algorithm. Just like the algorithms for TikTok and Facebook and Instagram.
YouTube, yep.
It's just looking broadly at all the data. What we do is we actually manually pick the most similar homes. We make adjustments for square footage, for condition, for updates, and we really hone in on the value using 3 or 4, we call them comps, but comparable properties that sold in the last 6 months, and that's how we really hone in on the value.
Okay. So if you could explain that just a little bit further for people who are like watching and listening or going to refer back to this a little later. So when you say a CMA or a comparable analysis or a comp, what does that entail? Like when you say you compare between the houses and stuff. If you can give it a little bit more, give me a little bit more meat and potato to that, so I
Yeah, yeah.
understand.
I mean, we look at all the details of the house because they all play a factor when you're comparing. So, obviously, if we were to look at two houses and one had 3 bedrooms and one had four, you pay more for 4 bedrooms because you're getting more, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, we look at beds, bath, does it have a garage, does it have a basement, what kind of condition, what kind of updates, how old were the systems, all of that stuff. And we take, like I said, 3 or 4 of them, the most similar. Sometimes it's really easy. Like some developments, they made 3 or 4 models, they have 500 homes, and they're all 3 or 4 layouts. So it's very easy to find something the exact square footage, and really then it's just really looking at what updates it had. But sometimes there's very custom homes out there too, and we got to do our best to find the closest that we can in style, beds, baths, price. We take those 3 or 4, and then we make the adjustments, and based on those adjustments, that's how we come up with the value.
So this is why a lot of people stress why you should consider, if you're gonna buy a home or you're selling a home, to consult with the real estate agent because of stuff like that. Because some people, they go off of Zillow's price, and the lady happened to know somebody and was like, "Oh, can you take a look at my property? I'm thinking about listing it. I'm not sure yet, but this is how much Zillow's telling me." And thank God she consulted with a real estate agent who are licensed to do these things, and we do this on a regular, because they literally could have missed out on $300,000. And that could be for somebody's like retirement savings of them never working ever again, picking up a part-time job. So stuff like that, you don't want to have an opportunity where you're losing money and you taking money off the table for yourself. Another question they said is, what are the steps involved in buying a property in real estate?
I mean, first and foremost, you got to get pre-approved, right? So we have some really good lenders that we work with that we can introduce to our clients. And anybody that needs that, if you contact Rondel, he can help you with that. But really, what you want to do is you get pre-approved, because then this way you know how much of a loan that you're good for.
Mm-hmm.
Then you take that and you look at the different areas you're interested in, and you got to see, price wise, what's within your price range that meets your needs. So you could use the pre-approval to determine what areas to focus on, and then go from there on picking homes to see. And once you have that in place, you don't want to start looking without a pre-approval, because for a bunch of reasons. You don't want to waste your time. You don't want to waste your agent's time. And if you find something you like, the inventory is so low right now, and there's a lot of bidding wars and deadlines, that if you wait to get pre-approved to after you look at the house, you might miss out on the house if you go and see it and you fall in love with it, because the offers might be due, the next day at noon, and you haven't started the pre-approval process yet.
I got a question for you. So when you're advising a client on a potential property they like, so what is your best one of your strategies you like to do? Do you like to have them sit and wait? If there's something they really like, do you have them fire in an offer right away, or do you have them like sit on it for like a day and a half or something?
No, no. I mean, in this market, with how quickly things move, the quicker the better. So,
Okay.
the main thing and again, my goal is to get the property for the client, right? So, I always want to get them as best of a deal as I can.
Mm-hmm.
And they have the goal of getting the property. Sometimes we have to go over ask. So, the way I look at it too is your best chance to get it below ask is by moving right away, because if there's no other offers on the property, that's when you have leverage.
Mm-hmm.
If there's other offers, you kind of lose your leverage, because basically what happens here in Jersey, seller says best offers are due tomorrow, 5 to Thursday or Friday, whatever, but they pick a day and time that the offers are due. And at that point, all you have to do is you get one shot, right? And you can just put your best foot forward and you get it or you don't. If you have something that, there's no offers on it yet, that's why I say to move right away if you know you like it. And now you have leverage. If there's no other offers, now maybe you can go in 20 under ask and negotiate.
Negotiate. So when you say best and final offers, those are usually referring to a bidding war. So could you tell me what a bidding war is, and like what do they mean when they say, oh, best and final offers?
Yeah, yeah. So, uh, well, bidding war is just that. It's when multiple people are interested in a property and offering a property. There's one property. There's multiple people. Only one person gets it. So they call it a war, because it's a fight for who has the best offer. So, what was the other part of the question?
The part of the best and final offers, like that's lingo for like basically explain what that
Yeah,
means.
so basically, because it was like it's become like standard practice to just call for what's called either highest and best or best and final. It's interchangeable. They both mean the same thing. It's just a deadline where all the offers are due because they need to stop the craziness somewhere. Because what if you don't do the best and finals? What happens is somebody will put an offer, they'll find out they didn't get it, then they'll come in with a higher offer. But then the person that got the offer will say, "Well, I want to go up," and then it'll just be a nonstop thing. So to keep it orderly and for it to make sense and be efficient, they usually just pick a time. Everybody submits their best and final, and they pick from those offers.
Okay, so this one you probably get this question frequently, right? So one of the questions they are asking is how do interest rates impact real estate prices?
Uh, I mean, directly and pretty heavily, I guess. So, I mean, people always need to move. So, no matter what the rates are, people will be buying and selling.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but, you know, the way it impacts prices is, I would say, from a very macro view, you know, the lower the interest rate gets, the more people can afford, the more people become eligible to buy a home, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some people get priced out because the rates are so high they might not be able to qualify for what they need.
Indeed.
So the lower it goes, the the higher the demand, the more buyers enter the market. So it usually pushes prices up.
Mm-hmm. I got you still have how much time you have left?
Uh,
We've been doing this
about
right
10, 8 minutes,
10
10
8 minutes.
minutes.
All
Yeah.
right, so I'm gonna fire a couple more questions to you. So this one is about real estate careers. Okay, it says, what does it take to become a real estate agent or a broker?
Okay, so in New Jersey, you have to take the real estate licensing course with the state at 70 hours or so.
Mm-hmm.
Cost about anywhere from $250 to $500, give or take.
Mm-hmm.
70-hour course, and at the end you take the course exam, which you have to pass in order to go take the official state exam. And then you would interview with brokers, find a good match, somebody that is going to mentor you, help you grow your business in the way that you like to learn, in the way that has the technology that you want to use and the setup that you want. To be a broker, you need to be a licensed agent for 3 full years,
Full time, if I'm not mistaken.
full time, and then you take another. You actually have to take the 70-hour course again, plus a 30-hour course, and then take a state test.
So can you just explain to people what is the difference between a broker and a real estate agent?
So, I mean, a real estate agent, which is a real estate license, is what you need to be able to sell homes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, a broker or a real estate agent, they can sell homes. The broker's license is really for managing and running an office. That's what the main ability you have by getting your broker's license.
So a broker's license allows you to open up your own real estate firm and your own real estate office, and then you have real estate agents under you. If I'm not mistaken, is that correct?
Yeah, in New Jersey.
In
I
New
mean,
Jersey.
certain states. I'm pretty sure California, you don't need the broker's license to open an office.
Yeah, but in New Jersey, your broker is technically like your boss, and he owns like the company. So it could be like Garrett team at NJ Realty Pros, which is he's the broker. This is his team, and he runs us. So he basically helps us out, mentors us, provides certain things for us like his signages, making sure we're in compliance with with advertisement. We have a what's Michelle does.
We have a marketing coordinator, transaction
Sure.
manager.
So like it's stuff like that. So they handle all the like the state compliance side of the real estate transaction, which is keeping books, transaction records. So stuff like that that a lot of brokers deal with is behind the scenes and a lot of the clerical paper pushing part of the job. I got two more for you, and then
Sure.
I think we can wrap this up. This is a pretty cool Q&A today. This will be one of the first and not the last, guys. We're gonna be doing a bunch of these. It says, what key skills required for success in real estate?
It's a good one. So, I mean, again, the way I look at it is if you get into real estate, especially if you become a like an individual agent. You can also join a team, but um, you know, any entrepreneurial skills usually transfer well into real estate. Because when you're running your own real estate business, 'cause that's really what you're doing. You're the CEO, you're the CMO, like chief market. You're doing the marketing. You're
Mm-hmm.
CFO. You're doing all the financials. Figure out what you're going to spend on marketing and things like that. So you wear a lot of hats. So you know, people that are entrepreneurial usually tend to do well in that. Obviously, people and sales skills helps a lot. um, Although it's not, I mean, not necessary. You know, depending on what niche you go. I mean, I know a lot of people that like do bank owns. You don't have to interact so much with the public. It's all back end corporate stuff, and you don't really need that bubbly, salesy
Mm-hmm.
personality to do well. So you can find any personality could do it, but I think the entrepreneurial traits are what helps to do well.
Cause you guys gotta be business minded driver mindset. Cause you have to find your own deal. You have to talk to people. You have to network. It's a whole lot of like stuff into real estate. People hear like, oh, you're a real estate agent. Wow, that's cool. So there's a lot of like stuff behind the scenes. And then this is the final question, so we can leave it here and end it off here. It says, how does technology impact the real estate industry?
Oh, huge. I mean, when you think about it, everything from finding homes to processing the pre-approvals to scheduling the appointments. It's all technology based now, and that's one of the things that our team and our firm, like, we're on the cut. We're on the front lines of that. Like, we're using AI. We're like we have everything like we have everything before it became big. We're usually testing a lot of the products that come out to see, and then deciding if we want to use them for the team or the office. But having that top technology is what I think allows us to serve our buyers and sellers fully. Because let's face it, if we're not having access to the best information, the best things, how can we give our clients the best service?
Right. So, just one more. So, how is AI, like ChatGPT and AI, impacting the real estate game in the whole?
I mean, so I think in a very like, it really depends on the knowledge that the person that's using it does, but as a whole, I mean, a lot of people are using it for very basic things like content creation and marketing materials. But I know, like, as recently as last week, I started playing around. Now with the full paid version, you get a little bit more access to be able to do more
Mm-hmm.
stuff. So, like, I have it analyzing investment opportunities for me and my clients,
Mm-hmm.
telling me what kind of returns, or I give it the requirements of my clients, what they're looking for in a return. I'll give it a list of 300 properties and say, hey, give me the best five
Properties
properties,
that you think, which it's using a specific algorithm, which is not bad, because that's stuff like that that people like, because it kind of like also gives you like a neutral like barrier, because like you don't know everything yourself, and sometimes the AI does know a little bit more than us when it comes to like analyzing certain graphs and charts, and it processes it way faster. So for us, what it does is if a client has a particular question on an investment property and they're saying, hey, what's going to be the return on investment if we decide to go with this property, instead of him looking through 300 properties, he can spit all the information he needs into ChatGPT. ChatGPT can analyze it within like 2 seconds, and then give you an actual good answer that you can actually look into it and say, that actually might work, and you can get back to your client instead of taking 2 days or a day to get back to them because you have to look at the data. You can get a quick, faster response, and a lot of like investors and business people like an agent that's fast when they have a question to get it answered quick. So that's something that also sets you apart from being an agent in real estate, is how good you are with the technology and how you implement it into your practices.
Absolutely, no.
Yeah,
So
guys. So listen, this is my boss Jay, my real estate broker. I'm Rondel. I'm a licensed realtor. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to DM me in the chat. You can what's it call it here? Text me if you need anything. If you have any questions about NJ, any kind of NJ real estate questions, or you're looking for an agent, NJ Realty Pros are your guys, and they'll take care of you. So peace out, everybody. See you later.
thanks, guys.